Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, across the continent of Africa, in the diaspora, in Europe, in America. Thank you very much. On behalf of Pan-African Forum, UK and Pan-African Forum Limited, Africa World Media Limited, and on behalf of myself, the people of Africa, and on behalf of Pan-Africanism, I want to greet you all. I want to greet you all tonight with the view that when we come to this, I want to greet you with a lot of sympathy. I want to greet those people, the suffering women, men, children, who have suffered the brutality of Mr. Paul Biya since 2016, when this new fight against oppression started. Paul Biya leashed several tactics against the people of Ambazonia, Southern Cameroon. I'll refer to the territory of Southern Cameroon because in the books I've now researched, I've not found, and I will not file any case talking about Ambazonia. Ambazonia is a crime scene. Southern Cameroon is the nation which was annexed, taken over arbitrarily by the French Cameroon. They have never presented any agreement whatsoever anywhere on planet Earth, either in UN headquarters, in London, in Paris, in African Union, or in Cameroon itself. I've researched on this subject for the last 10 years. Today, let me come to the subject that has brought us here today, as many as we are. The political and the humanitarian crisis. But the system's broken. Oh, please, when you enter, you mind your telephone. The political and the humanitarian crisis situation that is in Southern Cameroon. Many of you know, and many of you have heard my voice. And I want to make guidelines here. I am not here representing any particular group. I don't want to be taken by any particular group. I want to represent the suffering people of Southern Cameroon. I want to stand for those people in the forests, in the tropics, the children who have never gone to school since 2016. I want to stand for the suffering people who were denied their right to exist as a state, right from 1608 resolution of the United Nations General Assembly. I am Dr. David Nyekorach Matsanga, born in Uganda 69 years ago. I have lived in the United Kingdom for 40 years. I'm a refugee by background. I left Uganda at the height of persecution. I used to work with His Excellency, the late President, Apollo Milton Obote, as one of the personal assistants. Therefore, my history and the history of the African continent is in my chest in my heart, in my head, and in my blood. Uganda was one of the few countries that wanted Southern Cameroon to have its independence. Uganda was one of the countries that wanted Biafra to be independent. That is the subject of another day. The subject of today is purely to talk to you, to bring you together. To bring you together. If you have your differences, thank you. Just your differences. But when it comes to talking to Dr. Matsanga, I don't have differences with anybody. I have differences with only one man, that before the maker calls me or calls him, I want to bring him to justice and his commanders. That's it. I don't have any differences with you refugees outside in America, in Europe, in China, in where, in those in Boer who are suffering. I have no differences. Whichever group you belong to, it is as a result of one person.
Where you guys have close in this house? Mamma mia.
Oh, please, 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 mute your machine. Thank you. I have differences with Paul Biya. That's why I started, while on my investigating work across Africa, I came across these heinous crimes being committed in a state of Cameroon, in a state of Southern Cameroon. I sent my journalists. Headquarters, please work on that microphone, please. Thank you. I decided to send journalists into Southern Cameroon. And from that day in 2016, when the people were protesting against Western Union not being allowed, MoneyGram not being allowed, they were told magistrates should rule in French, schools should start teaching French, those in the Southern Cameroon should learn French, everything must be done in French. That was where I was. I started understanding the problem of Southern Cameroon, plus what other knowledge I had got already as having been in administration of President Milton Obote, who wanted the people of Southern Cameroon to have a state. So I put everything together. I started a campaign on my own. Nobody gave me permission to do so. Nobody stopped me until I saw a confusion. I did not lose hope. I continued to keep quiet and watch. I concentrated on the other one across your border in Nigeria of Biafra and Libya and Sudan. I kept my eyes. The situation there became very complicated. I hope Mr. Akanga is here on the platform. I told him to attend. He talked to me today. I told him to be here so that he can attest that he came to my studios in Nairobi, did an interview, and I told him I'm one of the biggest rebels on planet Earth. I've been in rebel politics, opposition politics for almost 40 years today. I rejected oppression. I have been a fighter since 1978, when I first picked AK-47 to remove Idi Amin. I have my military background. It is very difficult for you to bribe me. Even if you bring millions, when I'm stuck on my ground, I must execute my mission. I grew up in a humble beginning, a painful beginning, a refugee like you people here. I've reached the apex of education on the last iota on planet Earth. Therefore, what do? I must give back to the people. I must liberate my people. I must stand by them. Whatever they have gone through, they are going through, they will go through. Let's be together. Mr. Sako, seeing my TV very active. One day I got a telephone call for him saying, thank you for the good work you are doing. I want to be interviewed on your television station. At that time, they didn't have a television station. I hope he's listening. I gave him my television station, not for money, not for any reward, for Pan-Africanism. I dedicated 2 hours on a daily. A daily 2 hours daily from 2016. I joined up with some younger men somewhere in South Africa who had another satellite. My satellite was busy liberating the people of Gambia. You remember Gambia, Yahya closed all television stations and radio stations. So I took a satellite. I have a special satellite, special military satellite that can override some of these small, stupid radio stations of Paul Biya and Yaya Jame. So I took my radio station and my satellite into Banjul. I went undercover in a hotel with my equipment, and the Gambians continue to enjoy. Yaya Jame was thrown out, and my friend, the watchman, great friend of mine from Croydon, was in the watchman of Angus warehouse and supermarket. Great friend of mine, Adama Barrow, swept to power installed. I left. I continued with the job that I'm doing. I've never gone to Gambia to ask for money, even a single coin. Nobody has ever given me a coin in Gambia for what I did, but I did it for the good of Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, those watching me and listening on Zoom, a huge number of you, and those who will take these recordings, I continued with my observance of the situation in Southern Cameroon. It became worse. One evening, I was in Marriott Hotel near Heathrow Airport for a meeting, my own meeting. I bumped into, I was seated waiting for my people to come from Denmark and Finland for a very crucial meeting on Sudan and Dubai. By then, the Sudan war had started. We wanted to put, I'm part of the committee that negotiates peace in Sudan, as I am here up to today. I saw one black guy looking at me attentively. And being a soldier, I was very curious, and I walked to him and said, where do you come from? He said, oh, I come from Cameroon. Which part of Cameroon? That's always I ask questions. South or French? From Ambazonia or Southern Cameroon. I said, okay. Whom are you waiting for? He was waiting for Mr. Akanga. As we were talking, he was telling me there are people coming. I saw Akanga and Dr. Ayaba with 6 other people and 2 women in a London hotel. I wish Mr. Akanga was here. I told him, I would say it publicly. I said, Akanga, what are you doing here with these 2 younger women? These are not very good women. These women wanted to disrupt my peace talks in Uganda between me and the President Museveni. You should not associate with them at all. The women, when they saw me, they were shaking. I said, these ones are very bad people. These people should be spying on you. Don't give them that. Why are you with them? These 2 white women are not very good at all. I was very honest to these younger men. I call them younger men because none of them is 69 like me. I made my stand very clear. Akanga, if you are here, you better come up and say exactly what I told you. From that time, I did not come back to see. I did not follow up. I told them, you call me when you need me. The situation back at home, I heard of something like peace talks. I dismissed those peace talks as peace jokes because you cannot go to meet in Switzerland and say you are doing peace talks. You are just collecting a few dollars. Switzerland, that is the home of this guy. So how is it going to do peace talks for you? That's another angle for another day. Mistakes are made, but correction is amongst you yourselves. Divisions is what I hate. I told Akanga and Ayaba, unite. I have been a leader. I've been in rebel activities the rest of my life. I've been there. I have seen 400,000 men and arms, not simple arms of AK-47, huge arms. But I brought the war to an end. I will help you to guide you to bring this situation to an end. My brothers, whether they went where and they didn't agree, I don't know. I did not follow. Up to now, we are struggling. And I want to remind you people on this platform, any one of you, if he gets into trouble, don't finger point. That what has caused that trouble? It is Paul Biya. It is not that person. It is Paul Biya who has got the problem now. Because constitutionalism is closed down. If the constitution, which is the main door, is closed down, you don't rule out another form of constitutionalism of entering through a ventilator. If you close me the door of the church, and the God is for all of us, I must find a way to go to the altar. So therefore, most of you who are here, please, I beg you, don't hate each other. Don't undermine each other. Don't try to accuse each other to these white people. We made mistakes in these 40 years. My friends have lost lives. Some of them who never listened to Matsanga are not here today. Some of them who looked for money, quick money, they went back to Uganda. Where are they? They are gone. And Matsanga is still here, who refused every form of money, any form of bribery. I refused. Because I had a principle. I had a principle. And that is what I sat on. Coming to the subject of today, I have bundles and bundles of material here, which I'll go through with you. Sometime last year, 2 gentlemen, and I want to take this opportunity to thank them. There's one gentleman here called, I can't see him. If you know the man who has been following me, even when I closed one television, he followed me. Joyce, where are you? If you are here, you are listening. Joyce Mbai, not Mbaya has been following me, but there's one who has been very keen. But that is, he will come up later on. I'll Google his name and I bring you the details. Two gentlemen, namely Ambassador Foso and the elder and the Bishop Ayuk Taku. Ayuk Taku Bishop has gone through a lot in Nigeria, exiled in Nigeria, but while in Nigeria, he never kept, there is no day he ever stopped praying for me on my WhatsApp. Every day I wake up, he say, have you woken up? Pray. One day you must help us. Thank you very much, Bishop Ayuk Taku. And thank you very much, Ambassador Foso. You know him, all of you. You know who Ambassador Foso is, who is in the US, in Maryland. There is another gentleman by name Charles Taku, my lawyer, whom we have worked with. I'm going to explain to you how he came to be in my life, to encourage me. For what he did for me is what I'm doing for you now. So those two gentlemen, sometime in November, early November, they said, please, our people are dying. I told them, no, these people are so many divided, so much divided. I don't want to get involved in this again. The bishop and Ambassador Ambassador Foso said, please, we're a different category of people. We are not them. We are mature. David, go ahead. Help us. I said, I know the chief prosecutor of International Criminal Court. I know him personally. Personally, we have been together in a struggle towards the removal of William Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta and Ocampo 6, Pierre Bemba, Bashir, Saif Gaddafi, Babuko. This is the Matsanga you heard about, who opposed the ICC. By then, the chief prosecutor, the current one, was a lawyer like us. And we are giving him a lot of research in order for him to win those cases. I know Karim Khan. Karim Khan can't say, who is this? I said, okay, let me sit down. I looked at the evidence. I looked at the killings. What is taking place? This thing, I said, this thing that I left started in 2016. Oh, it is still going on. The killings are too much now. It has gone beyond. Nobody is talking. The world is silent. Mr. Paul Biya is still moving. But before that, I don't want you to lose this mark. Note it down. I went to the Old Bailey in London. My papers are in here. I went to the Old Bailey in London. I made a request of a summons that should Mr. Paul Biya ever come to the United Kingdom for medical treatment, Judge, your lordship, in the constitutional chambers of the Old Bailey, I said, please help me. Call him to tell us why human rights are being abused. Not warrant of arrest, just a summons, like the summons that brought Pinochet. I used the Pinochet law, the law that captured Pinochet while he was in London to see Margaret Thatcher. I wrote my English and submitted to the judge. The judge certified it as urgent and gave copies. I supplied physically. I'd say I did not want to leave it, a copy to Cameroonian embassy. At the reception, I went away. I supplied another copy to Patricia Scotland. I gave them I said, should this man ever walk around here for medical treatment, since he denies others medical treatment in Cameroon? Please call him to come and explain us from his Charing Cross Hospital. Let's put handcuffs on this guy. This guy, from that day, he will never come to the United Kingdom. And I want to pray, Mr. Paul Biya. I know your intelligence officer, some are here. Tell him, Matsanga wants to give you a free ticket to fly to the United Kingdom. This Matsanga who is talking, let me remove the glasses so that he can see me properly. That I want to give you a ticket. You fly to the United Kingdom, land Heathrow Airport, sir. And see whether you'll come back to Yaoundé. That's it. That's how bad it is now. See whether you'll come back to Yaoundé. That's my challenge. Tell him that that guy does not have money, but he will look for a ticket, of course, a business class, or he has got his insurance for ambulance. Let's land to Heathrow Airport. You will be able to tell the court. It's already there waiting. That's why the guy goes to your Switzerland, Paris, and maybe soon he will be going like a Tinubu to Paris and Saudi Arabia. The same I've done to Buhari. Mr. Buhari, the last you came that was the last time. Try, I have warned you. Don't tell me I did not tell you. I don't want to inconvenience you with your long councils, white councils. I don't want. Don't come there because I'll get you. You abducted Namdi Khan, took him. You have never told us why you abducted him. You left people in Kwagama State. So you have a case to answer with me. With 7 of us, and the 7 of us pro bono lawyers waiting for you. So, ladies and gentlemen, I decided to go and ask Karim Khan not to sit in Washington, D.C., not to sit in Washington, D.C. and write papers, not to sit in London and write, not to sit in Nairobi and write. I decided to enter Hague myself, booked my hotel with my money in the Sheraton Hotel in The Hague with my evidence that I had collected. And I said, Mr. Prosecutor, I'm around. I want to file. And Mr. Prosecutor, I want to file, but there is one condition of my filing these documents. If you don't start investigating Mr. Paul Biya, I give you just a month. I will come to the Old Bailey. Again, you're a British national holding a British passport. You got this job as a British. I'm going to go to the same constitutional court to ask them that there is a British national who got a job in international agency and he abates genocide, crimes against humanity, defilement, rape, and the war crimes against some citizens in the world. So, Mr. Karim, you lose your job. And then you will come back home in London to answer those charges. So you are my friend. Don't say I did not tell you. I put in my application. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the proof of the application. If you don't have this logo, it generated out of the system. Forget about the letter that people are showing. The letter, I have got the letters. I'm not here to fight anybody. I'm not fighting Mr. Sako. And I wish Mr. Sako listen to me. I'm your elder. I'm older than you, Mr. Sako. Come and apologize to me. Talk to me. Don't you call me a broadcaster? I don't want to say bad things. I'm an editor. You called me a broadcaster. That a broadcaster in Kenya, me, the one who taught you how to make that radio, that television, and you called me a broadcaster. That thing annoyed me. But I've forgiven you because today is unity. I want to bring unity.